Kingdom greetings. Pina here, your glory teacher, heavenly success, and ascension specialist. And I'm coming on today to share a little bit with you about my glory story. And if you've ever heard any of my glory stories, you know that they're some kind of good, and they can usher you into a new place, help you see yourself, accurately. And I was talking with my husband the other day, and he was like, you haven't shared your glory story on how it all began in quite a long time. And I didn't do anything with that right at the moment when he said it, but here I am today, and I want to tell you how it all began, okay? How it all began, because we are eternal beings, right? And whether you make a choice to accept or reject him, you're eternal. So your destination is dependent upon your choice of accepting Christ or rejecting Christ. And that was where I found myself, all right back in the early 1990s. I was going through a divorce. I was most miserable in my life. I didn't know how me and our daughter was going to make it at that time. And I was like, wow, talking to my mom one day on the phone, and she was like, you really just ought to give your life to Christ. And we were like the 3 times per year church attendees. So when she said that, it kind of struck me as odd. And I was like, yeah, I'll ponder that. I didn't do anything with it. Kept going through the divorce proceedings. Things kept getting worse. And one day I was coming home from work, and my neighbor pops her head out as I'm going into the door and says, "Come to church with me tonight." Now, my ex-husband was a Jehovah's Witness, and I studied with them for a short span of time and realized that wasn't what I needed, because the love walk just wasn't there. But one thing I did learn from them was that if a Christian approaches you and asks you to go to church, just tell them that you're a Jehovah's Witness. So, me and my unsaved self, I just lied to her. And I was like, I'm a Jehovah's Witness. I'll pass. And so I went on in the house. It was like, dodge that bullet. I'm coming home 3 days later. I've got groceries, baby car seat, and I'm going in the door. Here she comes again, inviting me to church. And I knew that every time I came home, that lady was going to be standing waiting for me to go to church with her. So I just said yes, so she could stop bugging me and I could come home from work in peace, because I was already dealing with enough, right? So I go to church with her that night. I can't even remember what the message was that was preached or taught, quite frankly. But one thing the minister did grabbed my attention and stood out. He literally said, "There's a woman here, and you're going through a divorce, and you are on your last leg in terms of what you're going to do with your life." And he says, God is calling you, to give your life to him. And I knew that was me. And I knew that he was speaking directly to me. And he began to describe other individual situations with this level of precision, accuracy, and detail. And myself and about 49 people went down there, and they lined us all up on the pulpit and chairs, and he says, okay, this is how you're going to accept this personal invitation to invite Christ into your life. And he says, I want you to visualize your heart as a door, and then see Jesus standing on the other side of the door. And on your side of the door, there's a knob. And if you want to invite him in, you've got to put your hand on the knob and turn it, and he'll walk in. Now, in my childhood, growing up sheltered, not knowing how to deal with trials and tribulations, having all kinds of nightmares, and I even went through a stint of sleepwalking. I'd end up in everybody's room, my mom and daddy's room, my brother and sister's room. I got to the place where I didn't want to see nothing because everything I saw was not good when I closed my eyes and laid down. So I had a hard time whenever there was any kind of visualization exercise, even in school. I really couldn't visualize anything because I had said, I don't want to see anything else. That's bad. I was tormented at night. And so initially I was kind of hesitant about this exercise, thinking I'm not going to see anything. Well, people all around me begin to stand up because his instructions were, once you grab the knob and let Jesus in, stand to your feet. And so they were kind of getting up and raising their hand and very calmly acknowledging that they had let him in. And I reached up in the spirit and I grabbed the knob. I literally saw Jesus standing there. I grabbed the knob and the door flung, the door flung open, and like wind, he came in, and literally I could see him walking right into me. And I jumped up, jumped up about 2 to 3 feet in the air. And I said very excitedly, he came into my heart. He came into my heart. He came into my heart. Because I didn't really think I was going to see anything. And from that moment forward, my life changed dramatically. That was like on a Thursday night, summer 1990. And by Monday, I had lost my job. I had totaled my car. And I was about to be evicted. Wow. So someone from the church invited me to be a roommate. And they lived in the same condominium complex that I lived in. And so I got to stay in the same kind of house that I had. And they drove the same car that I totaled. And she was like, well, I go to work every day. You can make yourself at home. You can take my car. You can do whatever you need. So I would use her car and drop off the baby. And then I would come back home. And I would rush home. And I would fast and pray and seek his face all day long. Wow. And he led me to begin my study in the books of the prophets. He didn't lead me to read the red like everybody teaches you and go into the Gospels. No, he led me to Isaiah. He led me to Daniel. He led me to the book of Ezekiel, studying all the prophets. And I noticed something as I was studying. Each one of them had a specific encounter with an angel in their mouth. Either the angel was taking coals and touching their mouth, or they were proclaiming, my lips are unclean. And so a desire arose in me to have an encounter with an angel like that, like these prophets had. And it wasn't anything so grand. I just laid down and I said, God, I want to have an encounter like I read today. And an angel swooped down and kissed me in my mouth. And my lips were different. For about a week, my lips felt different. It was like they were alive. And I knew that he had put his words in my mouth. And so from that point forward, I've been living this life of fasting, praying, and seeking his face all day, shutting in just like prophetess Anna so that I can see Jesus. Wow. Before I leave this earth. And so I didn't know that from about the time I accepted him, 1990, until about 2009, when he graced me to write the Making book, I was looking around in leaders, looking around in services, looking around the body of Christ, and I noticed a dichotomy. Something wasn't adding up. What I was experiencing and had experienced up to that point and continued to experience, it wasn't in the leaders that I happened to see, whether it be in the marketplace, whether it be in ministry, and it wasn't in any of the church services. And it baffled me. Oh, I was befuddled. Oh, Moshanama, I was dumbfounded. And then I got angry. I got angry. And I began to talk to God about all the needs of his people and about what was lacking. Okay? Why the word, the living word, wasn't being seen and experienced. And so what I didn't know was, as I was going through this time, that he was making me what I didn't see. I didn't know while I was going through this that I was becoming, wow, that living word, that accurate reflection of Christ in the earth. I didn't know that he was causing me to become the very answer for others that I couldn't find. I couldn't find that school of the prophets. I couldn't find that mentor. Wow. And I didn't know that he was making me that at the time, because you know that Proverbs 25:2 tells us that he was concealing it from me. That's what God does. The glory of God. He himself, because he is glory, he conceals a thing. And it's our job to search it out. So as I kept asking, as I kept seeking, as I kept knocking, as I kept interceding, as I kept writing, wow, Moshanama, it was unveiled to me. The revelation of glory was unveiled. And so for 30 years, I have been in this place of preparing for this one moment in time. This moment in time where he is saying, look, I'm coming back for a glorified bride. Is that you? Is that you? Is that you? Wow. Is that there? Can I see it over here? And wow. And so that one moment is where we are. And it is time for you. It is time for you, lay leader. It is time for you. Wow. Moshanama, apostle. It is time for you, pastor. It is time for your ministry. It is time for your business. It is time for your marriage. It is time for your finances. It is time for every area of your life to be awakened. Wow. To glory. It is time for you to expand your knowledge of the glory. It is time for your earthen vessel to become covered, overshadowed with the knowledge of his glory. And you can do that in a self-paced way in the Release the Glory class. Okay, we have an entire glorification school, but that's the first place. So if you are having problems seeing in the spirit, wow, if you are having problems and you don't like what you're seeing in yourself first, Moshanama, and then others, hey, if you want to know how to become that accurate reflection of Christ, if you want to know how to release glory, Moshanama, get the glory in you, up and out, into your business, into your ministry, into your community, into various situations, then the Release the Glory class is calling you. Wow, just like he was calling me. That same invitation that he tailor-made for me to accept him is the same tailor-made, custom invitation that he is giving you right now through me to be awakened to glory, to understand, comprehend, etuza, and know your glory mantle intimately instead of running around chasing after someone else's mantle. So, whenever you're listening to this, whether it's in the summer and you're looking for some good summer reading or whatever season, because there isn't a set season for glory. It's always the right time. Wow. To be overshadowed with glory. It's always the right time to embark on your journey to being glorified. Can you discern it? Is the key. Will you respond? Is the answer. Go to bit.ly, bit.ly, release the glory. Capital R for release, capital G for glory, to learn more. You'll see all that's included in this certified course, and you can scroll down and look at some of the testimonials that others who we've been teaching for the past 2 years we've done this. You'll see some of their testimonies, and if you want to learn more about their in-depth experiences and how this class transformed every area of their life, go to youtube.com, search for my name, Karen Pina, and then go to the Glory Testimonials playlist, and you can see them all there. The first 2 modules of this course is free. That way you can kind of see the workload, what to expect. All right, and I'm not using anyone else's materials, okay? These are materials that he has birthed through the time that I have spent fasting, praying, and seeking him over these past 30 years. So I hope to see you in there, or to see your pastor, or to see your entire ministry or business in the Release the Glory class. Apostle Karen Pina here, your glory teacher, heavenly success and ascension specialist, signing out. Blessings on the rest of your day.